Have you ever looked at a company and wondered, how do they always seem to have amazing leaders ready to step up? Well, today, we're going to dig into that. We're exploring this really powerful idea that you don't build leaders, you grow them. So let's just start with that classic question, right? Are leaders born or are they made? We've all heard it a million times, but what if we've been asking the wrong question all along? What if the real secret isn't in the person, but in the environment that surrounds them?
And this, right here, is the big idea. It's time to stop thinking about leadership development like it's some kind of factory assembly line, where you put in raw materials and get a finished product. It's so much more organic than that. Think of your organization as a garden. You're not building, you're cultivating.
Okay, so if we're running with this garden metaphor, where do you start? Well, any gardener will tell you it all starts with the soil. And in our world, the soil is your company culture. It is the absolute foundation for everything.
And the difference between good soil and bad soil is it's night and day. On one side, you've got that barren culture. It's like dry, hard-packed dirt, nothing can grow. People are afraid to take risks, new ideas get shot down, forget about it. But then you have a healthy culture. That's your rich, fertile soil. It's an environment that actually feeds and nourishes talent, making it a safe place for new things to sprout. And here's the kicker. This isn't just some fluffy, feel-good HR initiative. Focusing on your culture is a straight-up business strategy. Why? Because when people feel safe and have room to grow, they're more innovative, they're more engaged, and that leads directly to productivity that actually lasts.
But, a good gardener doesn't just prep the soil and then walk away, right? You've got to deal with the weeds. And in an organization, the weeds have a name. It's a concept called culture entropy.
So what is culture entropy? Well, think of it as all that invisible gunk that gums up the works. It's the bureaucracy, the red tape, the unspoken rules that just create friction and slow everything down. It's like the pests and weeds in your garden that, if you're not careful, will quietly choke the life out of your most promising future leaders. So, what does this stuff actually look like day to day? Well, does getting a simple decision made take forever? When someone brings up a new idea, is the first reaction, that's not how we do things around here. These aren't just small annoyances. These are the weeds. These are real barriers holding your best people back.
Okay, so we've tilled the soil, we've started pulling some weeds. Now for the good part. How do we actually nurture the talent that's ready to bloom? How do we actively help them grow? The secret here is that it has to be continuous. This is not a one-week training program. It's about giving people real ownership of projects that matter. It's about pushing them, giving them challenges that are just a little beyond what they think they can do. It's about mentoring them, and this part is so important, it's about celebrating the effort and the learning, not just whether they got a perfect outcome on the first try.
And the real goal here isn't just to have one good harvest of leaders. The idea is to create this self-sustaining ecosystem, a garden that's always producing new growth, where the leaders you develop today become the gardeners of tomorrow.
So let's just boil this all down. What do you need to remember? First, your culture is your soil. It's what makes everything else possible. Second, you have to be relentless about finding and pulling out those weeds of culture entropy. And finally, you have to actively and consistently nurture your talent.
And that leaves us with a final thought. Creating this kind of garden doesn't happen by accident. It starts with one small, intentional act. So my question to you is, what's the one thing you can do this week? One little weed you can pull, or one seed you can water, to start cultivating your garden?